we realized pretty early on that people, I guess their expectations were pretty high. A lot of people seemed to like Monolith, so we knew that we had our work cut out for us. I think with Monolith we were really just like kind of bored and just wanted to do something new, whereas this one we had a piece of history to actually go off of and go back and be able to review and see what people liked about it, and luckily it was the same kind of things we liked about it.
Well, this record is definitely a natural evolution from Monolith.
All of us are really happy with Monolith and proud of it, but I think it's just taking the most positive elements from that record that we felt were standouts and honing and refining those till it's a lot more streamlined and efficient machine.
Well, I feel that this record has kind of more just a general darker type vibe to it than Monolith was. Not so much like it was a conscious effort, but it's kind of just the way it came out, and there's definitely a greater emphasis on just like songwriting in general, and I feel like everyone's kind of playing off their own strengths on this one, and we kind of know how to work with each other a little bit better to bring that out of everybody, and it just seems to work, just works a little better, I think, on this record.
We've talked about this quite a bit, and we like Monolith, but we felt there was definitely room to grow.
I think also we knew a little bit more what to expect with Dave Otero on this one, as being a full-on bona fide producer. So having worked with him before really helped. It helped us craft this record a little more. Surprisingly enough, I feel like we're more equipped going into this one, and we were a little more ready, I think, for this record than Monolith. There was a song on, I didn't even have the lyrics to Your Disposal when we went in to do Monolith. I had to write that in the studio. So this one we came in completely all firing on all cylinders, I think, whereas the last one it was a little more of a proving ground or something, but this time we actually had a springboard to jump from.
What? I can't tell what's going on here. Start me from somewhere else.
Okay. At the very end.
That was a fuck up, but I was like, might as well roll with it since.
Okay. Everything, the first part was sweet. I could tell when you were like doing shit that you didn't mean to do, but I liked everything.
Sounds so clacky right now, so it's hard to, like, those slides sound like, Kill.
I wonder if the slides are too much
Maybe not the first time around.
Yeah. Or maybe like only one of each. It's just the two right back to back is maybe too slidey. I would do it the second time of each.
That's what you said.
Yeah. In the studio and as a whole, Decapitation is made up of many different parts. Everyone in the band has like a very different style, outlook, ideas about metal, just about everything. Like they're almost like four incompatible people.
You enter into the writing process with one vision that evolves over the course of the writing process, and I think we've all kind of like had to reevaluate what we had this sort of loose, here's what we want to be, here's what we want to do goal. But we've had to reevaluate how it is the process and getting to that goal several times, I think, over the course of writing.
That's the most challenging part of the writing process, period. I mean, but at the same time, the reward with that is that we can come up with something that's unique because it's not one person's vision, it's all of us together that makes it one.
Everybody had a strong vision, and it's just a matter of working those parts out, I guess.
We were a little bit more aware of the democratic nature of how we handled this band, and that proves, with different. You get 4 of any everybody in the room, and you're gonna have different opinions and stuff like that. But I think this one was easier to work through all that. I guess I can, I don't know. It kind of wrote itself. I feel everything from the lyrics to the themes to the music itself. It seemed to pretty much come a little bit easier.
Because we were so picky with stuff and wanting to really, just tighten up every element. I think we were kind of really hard on the songs as we were writing them and on each other with, generating a sort of finished product there. So I think it's one of those, the best material comes out of the most tension while you're creating it, usually, seemingly. So I think the process is a lot more painstaking in that regard. But as far as once we arrived here and started tracking and everything, I think there was a lot more of an ease in that aspect.
That makes Cattle what it is, like the conglomeration of all of them. They all have super strong style elements, musically and aesthetically, and it makes Cattle this completely unique thing that couldn't really ever be replicated. They all kind of have equal parts in it. It's pretty interesting. It is definitely different than most bands, especially younger bands with guys that go to school together and stuff. They're all, opinions are almost interchangeable, that sort of thing, and it's the exact opposite case with Cattle. Everyone has strong visions, and really what it does is it forces everyone to come together and find the one thing that can kind of appeal to the group, which is difficult, but pays, rewards, once you get there.
For me, I was worried. Do I even still got it as far as coming up with good ideas or whatever for songs? And just like with Monolith, which really pleased me, at least on my end of things, for lyrically and theme-wise, everything happened pretty much overnight. It's kind of an epiphany that yes, this is what I want to do, and yes, this is what I want to call this.
The first one of the two.
It's the first one of the two.
Yeah, the one that's so...
that happens in the beginning.
Is it slower though? That one.
That one? Okay. On the scratch track you played like another thing, and maybe it was a fuck up, but I realized later.
That's probably right.
Okay.
I might have played the second one instead, but I'm pretty sure because the next time it goes. Okay,
as long as it's one of those two, that's what I have here. Ooh. Make that a little more dramatic. Clearly. You should not rest for that. Gum gum gum. Oh, do we need the slide?
We don't need it.
Maybe just on the second one of the second one.
You ready, buddy? Go to town.
Being here in Colorado, as opposed to if we were just like stay at home record, it just puts us in the element, puts us all in one area, focus, nothing else to do, focus on this record. And working with Dave's is incredible. He brings out the best in everybody. I feel he's got great ideas. I don't know, Colorado's kind of like our second home.
We always hit Denver, and we'd known the Svelte Carnage guys for years, so we'd stay with them and kind of hang out with them when we were here. And over the course of time, they would always mention Dave's name and say, "Oh, man, you got to come out here and record with him." We're like, okay, we decided about prior to Monolith that that's what we wanted to do. We're finally going to take their advice, and we did. And there's a reason we're back here again now.
Dave is basically like the fifth member of this band. We trust his opinion quite a bit, and when we show up to record, we have something ready, and we always wait for his input. And it's great. He's a great engineer, great producer. Love working with him.
Working with Dave, I did learn to rethink things, like not exactly get too set on something, because there's always another way that could possibly be done better. And So I've kept that in mind, even doing other projects or doing any kind of recording of these style of vocals since. I'm always thinking, are you overdoing this part? You know, maybe you can pull back a little bit.
You know, the one thing I do really appreciate is actually I kind of work well with all the guys, and I feel like they value my opinion, which makes things go smooth in the studio. It makes kind of levels the playing field, and we can actually have like discussions about parts, and I don't hesitate to bring up my point or bring up ideas on changing things or doing this or other ways to you know, get the song wrapped up, and it's not always easy. It's definitely not easy, but it can be extremely gratifying and rewarding, like after all the work gets put in.
Although we do have the luxury of having so many familiar and people around, you know, you get in your work zone and that's all you do. It's all you think about. So I think that kind of keeps us disciplined. And working with Dave Otero, aside from his pretty eyes, it's really he just does exactly what a very good engineer / producer will do. Get you extremely comfortable, make sure you're hearing what you want to hear, and just get you so you're going to give the best performance, and he'll work you. You know, sloppy do it again, sloppy do it again, sloppy do it again, you know. But in, you know, his very polite terms. So that's ultimately what we want out of everything, just to get the best out of each track. So he's very successful at that. And his taste level, as far as like in production, with suggestions as far as like little bits of sprinkly, you know, sprinkles on the end of things, like layering and textures, is always very successful. So we value his consult highly.
This isn't exactly the kind of vocal style or music that somebody would normally think to incorporate melody into that raspy nature of the vocals, or whatever it is. You know, even with guitars and stuff. I mean, it's something we've always wanted to do, was challenge the idea that this kind of music has to be a certain way. So one curveball you could throw everybody, I guess, would be to change up the way that they view certain styles. Like, I see a lot of people referring to those vocals as being clean, and all I can say is, if that's clean, then you need to wash out your ears, because it's not clean at all. It's extremely raspy. It just has a certain tinge of melody to it, you know. And that's just something I've stumbled on, I guess, over the years of working with different size PAs and different size rooms, and some, you know, being sick or whatever, you know, all that kind of stuff comes into play. Experience on the road has been my number one biggest friend.
Well, if I had 3 words for this record, I would say dark, relentless, and brutal.
I've heard you ask everyone else this question, and I've been thinking about it. I still can't really wrap it up.
Time to get.
Better than Monolith.
I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't be summed up in 3 words.
Brutal, epic, cattle. There you go, 3 words.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle.